Hey guys, it is Kobe. Welcome back to Koblizzy. It has been a minute since I have. Let me cover up the thing where I can see myself. It's been a minute since I filmed an episode, like a month. Feels like a really long time. And I'll just get the sad stuff out of the way first. There's a lot of fun stuff to talk about in this episode. But the reason I took a break is because my family's dog, our sweet Mugsy, was 13 years old and he passed away. He suffered from a medical emergency, and we had to put him down so he wouldn't suffer because he was dying. And it was very sudden, and it was very, very hard for me. At first, it was way more difficult to handle than I thought it was going to be. Because, dogs don't live forever. No, none of us do. Nobody does. And big dogs, especially. Mugsy wasn't small. And so I was always, not always, but recently in the past couple of years, it's crossed my mind more than once, like how I would feel when he would go. And it was harder than I thought it would be. And I mean, if you know me, like in real life, like I'm not a huge fan of pets. I'm a vegan. I love animals, all for animal rights and all of this stuff. So don't come for me. But I don't love house pets. I just don't, and I don't like most people's pets. And I don't pet people's dogs in like public and stuff. I just don't do stuff like that. But Mugsy was just very, very different. And on the last day of third grade, our teacher told us we didn't have to come if we didn't want to. So I didn't, and I was 8 years old. And instead of going to school on the last day of third grade, I went to the Humane Society with my mom and maybe my dad, maybe my brother, one of the two. And we picked out Mugsy. I picked out Mugsy. And this was after begging for months. Can I please have a dog? Can I please have a dog? And they really weren't budging. My parents were not. And I had a book, like how to take care of a dog book, like laying on my chest, and I like fell asleep when I was a little kid. Used to read a lot, and I was reading a dog book, and I think my dad says that's what won him over. And we got Mugsy, and everybody fell in love with him because he was very unique. And if you know him again in real life, you know what I mean. He was like, his behavior was unique. He was very different. He was pampered, and he did not know, very domesticated, did not know outdoor life. Um, he was a very, very sweet dog. And it's just, I mean, it's sad that he's gone, of course, but it also just really is like a symbol of the passage of time for me. And so I just took a break for that reason. And I've been very busy in the meantime. You have to, keep going. And there's a new normal. Fran Drescher wrote a post on Instagram the other day. Says there's a new normal. She lost her dad, which is very different than a dog, but she said there's a new normal coming, and there is, but it's sad. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. That's where I've been. Well, that's not where I've been, but that's why I've been gone. And there's lots of fun stuff in store. I just had to get that out of the way. So moving on. The song of the week. I do have one song that I'm gonna mention. That's like been the overarching favorite song of the past, couple of weeks that I haven't been here. And that song is Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. You knew I was going to say it, didn't you? You knew I was going to say it, didn't you? That song is a bop. And it's a pop song. That's how I feel about my song Honest. Not to like plug myself, but I have a song called Honest, and the lyrics, like I pride myself on being a good songwriter and writing clever lyrics. Honest is not like the most clever song. It's not a song that somebody else could have written it, but it's catchy, and that's kind of sometimes what a pop song is. And that's how I feel. Is the gain too high? That's how I feel about Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso, my country ass Espresso. It's very simple, it's goofy, it's silly, but it's her most popular song to date. And sometimes we just need fun. I think that's what's missing in a lot of music nowadays. I feel like pop music like 10, 15 years ago, some of it was just sometimes music was just music. Sometimes if you go back and like, hello, if you comb through the lyrics of older songs with a fine tooth comb, it's not that complicated. Some of the lyrics don't make sense, and it's like sometimes the songs were just good because they were good, and that was it. And I feel like sometimes people miss out on the fun just a little bit. And so I think espresso is a great example of fun. And I think I'm the demand that I'm talking about has been proven by how much people love and appreciate the song. They're listening to it quite a lot. Now, I've been listening to a lot of other songs as well. And I am going to look at my like playlist and talk about them. I'm also going to talk about like Taylor Swift's album today. There's tons. Oh my God, my laptop is dying. How did I turn on the camera and everything else and got the mic hooked up and then the computer's dying? It's always something, folks. It is always something. So I'm going to talk about Taylor Swift's new album, and I'm going to talk about. I was in Dallas, Texas recently. I just got back from Washington, D.C. yesterday. Lots of travel. I'm going to talk about some magazine covers that I've been loving recently, models, TV shows, movies I've been watching. There's a lot to discuss. I have a couple of stories I want to tell. I'm trying to figure out where to plug in my laptop charger. Yeah, there's so much to update you on because since I've been gone for so long, and I don't want to miss a thing. There's a Kylie Minogue song called I Don't Want to Miss a Thing on her 2020 album Disco. Bop. Banger. Sorry, not to be that bitch, but I want all of this coffee. Like, it's really delicious. I also have some Italian sparkling mineral water. Let me take a sip. I'm a beverage girly. I get not dehydrated. I just get like parched. I just want something to drink. I'm an aqua girl person, like aqua girl. I'm an aqua four person through and through. But I left all my Aquaphor. I lost it. I don't know. I didn't end up in DC this past weekend with Aquaphor, and so I had to go to the hotel gift shop because like that was the only place I could go. And the only lip balm they had was Burt's Bees. So I got this honey Burt's Bees, and it's pretty good. I just like Aquaphor because I like to be able to put on like a lot. I like to have like a half inch of of moisturization on my lips at any given moment, and Aquaphor allows that. Burt's Bees is a little bit thinner in consistency, but it is a moisturizing lip balm. I say it's better than like Carmex. Carmex is the worst. I used to use Carmex all the time in high school. And like you guys don't understand, it makes your lips so much drier. There's no reason that it should burn your dry lips. Does it have such a potent, like aggressive smell and sensation when it's really just like spicy petroleum jelly? And I heard a rumor one time that it had glass shards in it. I don't think that's true. I don't know why anybody would make that up, but I do remember hearing that. And after that, I stopped using it just because it scared me, even though I know it's not true. I do have like a Bobby's World kind of mentality. But yeah, Carmex doesn't give. Like, I don't think, like, Chapstick, the brand, Blistex, Nivea, is that how you say it? None of them are giving. Burt's Bees is okay. And I don't like all the smells and stuff, though. Like, I'm sure some of them are good, but I just got honey because I wanted to be safe. Burt's Bees and honey, it felt like they'd be able to do that well. And also Beyonce. I always think about bees and Beyonce. And yeah, I'm a vegan, but I actually do eat honey. So maybe some people would argue that I should say I'm plant based. Which sure, if that's floats your boat, say that. But I don't eat like dairy or any seafood products. I don't eat red meat or chicken or any sort of animal product or eggs. Outside of that, just honey. And I feel like bees dispose of honey. I don't feel like I don't know. I'm not really going to get into that debate. Save the bees, but like also it's honey. I feel like can't we save the bees and have honey? I think that's a thing, right? like bee conservation, but they dispose of the honey. Like that's what they make and do. I'm all over the place already. That's one thing you can count on. I'm gonna get on this thing and turn on this camera and like say whatever. It's so funny. This past weekend, what I was doing in DC was hosting. Well, not the whole time, but I was there for a training workshop for my blood disorder association, and I've been involved for a long time, and they've brought in some new members recently, and so we were like showing kind of the new people the ropes. And something I've been heavily involved in with my blood disorder association is their podcast, because obviously I have experience. And so I've co-created 2, now 3 podcast series for that blood disorder podcast, the Beyond HAE podcast, the youth hosted podcast. We did a series last year, and then we did a series that's going on this year, and then I just filmed a series this weekend that'll come out, at some point. And so that's what I was doing. Like my purpose for being there was to show these kids like a podcast workshop kind of thing. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was working with this other guy. They brought in somebody else that is a podcast professional, audio engineer professional, and he was just like giving podcast tips and tricks as well. And he was talking about the different types of podcasts and how you do it and whatever. And it's funny because he was asking me about my own personal podcast. He was asking me about koblizzy, and I didn't really know what to tell him because I'm like, baby, this is like a Trisha Paytas type of show. We sit down, we turn it on, we let the camera go for like an hour sometimes. And she lets that thing go for like 3 hours, 4 hours, which is, but I'm like, we let the camera go and I just talk, and it's a stream of consciousness, and there's no, I make a bullet point list on my phone. I don't know if this podcast really has a category. If stream of consciousness was an option, I'd pick it, but it isn't. So what do I say? I don't know. So I just said it's like a pop culture podcast, which is what it says in like the description and everything. But anyway, so it was just interesting because that podcast is for a medical blood disease association. It's a little bit more structured and a little bit more focused than something like this. But KOBLIZZ to the Y, baby. How do I forget how to spell my own mononym? So yeah, I was in DC for my blood disorder association a couple of weeks ago. Right before Mugsy passed away, I was in Dallas for the weekend for something else for my blood disease association, like a 5K event situation, and I got to see like my basically aunt and uncle from the outskirts of like Dallas, like the surrounding areas that my dad, knew like 20, 25, 30 years ago when he lived out in Texas. And it was really great to see them for the first time since like 2017. It was crazy. It's been so long. So that was good. So that's like the traveling that's been going on. I have a couple of trips coming up soon, but fortunately I think I'll be home for like at least a week or a week and a half. I'm getting kind of tired from all this travel. I need a break. So I'm going to try to rest up. When I wrote this list to record this episode, I wanted to talk about Celine Dion. When she presented Taylor Swift with a Grammy a couple of months ago, I was so happy to see her face. But recently she did a magazine cover styled by La Roche, who is somebody else I've been so obsessed with recently. All these interviews that he's been doing on these, like this press junket he's been going on, just because like, the rise in popularity. Zendaya, the fucking slay of the Challengers press tour. I gotta talk about Challengers, bitch. That movie's nutty, and it was incredible. So much has happened, you guys, since I've gotten on camera last time. But first things first, I do just want to talk a little bit more about music. I just want to get in this playlist. I didn't do that, and see if there's anything that I've like really been enjoying recently, other than Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. Stand by Your Man, Tammy Wynette, just a random song that I've really been liking. I heard it like oh my god, a Beehive member, like a Beyonce fan, edited that song into the background of some video, and I heard it and I was like, what was that? So I Shazammed it. That's where I got that. I'll talk about Tortured Poets Department in a minute, but I want to do it all at one time. So I'm going to talk about other songs first. Changes by Empire of the Sun. I don't really know this group. I don't know this group, but that song came up somewhere. I don't actually know where. Just really good song. Changes is the title. Empire of the Sun, the group. What Happened to Us is the title of the next song by the group GL. And I got this one. Beyonce featured Linda Martell, a legendary multi-hyphenate and non-denominational, that's not correct, genre national. She an artist that superseded genre. Linda Martell is featured on Cowboy Carter, and I just randomly saw a tweet on Twitter, obviously one day, from her grandkid, her granddaughter, grandson, I don't know, but her grandkid tweeted about this song, "What Happened to Us," and they were talking about how they loved how 80s the song was, and it is 80s, and I like it too, so I listen to it now. Um, Alter Ego, Dochi, and JT. That's a bop. It's like a song that has a lot of switch ups. It's very like complex. It's a lot good time. I don't know if I've filmed since Boy Bye by Chloe came out, but I love Boy Bye. Boy Bye, bye. I won't even cry. You stupid mother, boy, bye. It's a banger. Like it's like a little pot. I like the like the cadence of the verse too. It's like dun dun dun. I was up a dun 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 dun. Do 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 never involved. Do 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 ba ba ba. Boy, bye. It's fun. It's fun. They labeled it R&B. I feel like it's a pop song, but whatever. They do what they want. They do what they want. They do what they want. Conan Gray put out a new album. I love Conan Gray. I've loved him. I used to watch his YouTube videos back in my YouTube kid era when I would sit around and watch YouTube videos all the time in like 2014, 15, 16, 2013, 14, 15, 16, probably like around there, maybe even a little earlier. I got my first iPod in 2012, so probably like starting there. And like up until high school, I was loved YouTubers, and so I watched Conan Gray when he made random ass goofy YouTube videos, and then he started making music with his, what's that EP called? Summer something. Sunset Season, I think is his first EP with like Greek God and Idle Town, and there's two more songs. And then he put out his first album, Kid Crow, during the pandemic. Was obsessed. Immediately was obsessed. So many good songs. And then his second album came out 2022. That one's called, it's the one with the heart on the cover. I have the CD. I have all his CDs except for the EP. And then his new album, actually I don't know what it's called either. Why am I so bad with titles? It's called Found Heaven. His new EP is very 80s pop. It's very kind of different than the rest of his music sonically, for the most part. There's one song, Alley Rose, that is reminiscent of his kind of sound. Obsessed with that song. But Fainted Love, Found Heaven, Never Ending Song, Forever With Me, obsessed with that one. Eye of the Night, Killing Me. All these songs are very, very different for Conan. Boys and Girls is another track. Bourgeoisie's, that might be my least favorite. I don't really get it so much, but the other ones I love. The Final Fight's great song. Lonely Dancers, I don't know if I said it, but love it. Fainted Love, I said that, like that one. Miss You, I don't really remember what that one sounds like right now, but I don't want to play it because they're going to strike me. And then another song that is kind of reminiscent of Conan's like regular kind of emotional style is Winner, but that song's a standout. It's about having like an estranged relationship with a parent figure or a guardian figure. In this case, I think it's Conan's parents. And it's very emotional and very painful, but that's kind of Conan's bread and butter, is writing a song about pain and making you listen to it, planting an earworm in your ear that you're like obsessed with torturing yourself with how hurtful this song is, but it's so good you can't stop listening. Conan's really good at that and always has been. But I love that he's branching out into new sounds now. I think it's time, and I think he was perfect timing for Conan, and they did a good job. Everybody involved did a great job. Loving Skeletons by Stevie Wonder. My friend Bella told me about that song. I know a lot of Stevie Wonder, but I didn't know that one. I really like Skeletons. A bop. B-O-P. Tori Kelly put out like the deluxe version of her EP that had a deluxe version, which is now an album, and it has like 5 more songs, I think, something like that. And so the whole thing's fantastic. It's called Tori. The whole thing's great. Listen to the whole thing, top to bottom. She's a masterclass. And now I will get into Tortured Poets Department, and then I'll move on to things that aren't music. So with Tortured Poets Department, hold on, let me take a sip. With ttpd, I am going to be honest, you guys. And before, I know how the Swifties are. and I'm not gonna let you people drag me. Well, you might drag me anyway, but I'm not gonna let you drag me without at least being informed first. So I want to talk to you about my history with Taylor Swift, and then I'll tell you what I think about this album. When I was born in 2002, June 12th, 2002. Taylor Swift debuted in 2006. Her first album did. I don't know exactly when, but it was in 2006. And then 2008 was Fearless. That was an album that I was started following her release. So in 2008, I would have been about 6 years old. And so as best I could on the family computer, or, trying to hear the songs on the radio, or however we listened to music back then. I didn't have any electronics except the family computer. I would listen to Fearless. 2010 was Speak Now. That one I was really watching the videos like on the YouTube. 2010 I was like 8. I already had a Facebook at that point. I was watching the videos on that computer, baby. I might have had a Kindle Fire or something at that point. So I really had a way to see Taylor, and I loved Taylor. And so I really and by the way, when I started liking Fearless, I went back and I remember Teardrops on My Guitar and a freaking Our Song. Obviously, everybody knows that one. Mary Song, baby, Don't Play With Me. Cold As You, baby, Don't Play. Like, Taylor Swift's first album is actually really underrated. I feel like a lot of people do not speak about that one as much when they're talking about her country music. I digress. Red, I was there. Begin Again is one of my favorite songs of all time. One of my it's like a song that it's not really that sad. It's actually a moment of like it's like a happy kind of song for her. It's like, oh, you're better than the last. But something about the way it sounds invokes such a deep sadness in me. And you know what I just said a few minutes ago, I love a sad song. I love to be tortured. And when you can torture me and make me want to do it over and over again, okay. I love sad music. A lot of people don't like sad. I've known many a person in my life to be like, change it, or oh my God, turn the song, play something else, because they don't like sad songs. But like, I turn up to sad music just like I turn up to Megan Thee Stallion. There's no difference here, baby. There's no difference here. I'm also going to talk about, let me finish Taylor Swift's album and then I'll say something else. Oh, let me say what I was going to say, though. So, Red, I was there. 1989, I will say, I got to be honest, I'll be real. She kind of lost me when she went pop completely at first. Like, I loved her country music. I really, really did. And so her pop transition at first was a little startling. But when she put out Reputation, came back around. Like, Reputation, I really loved that album. In 1989 is like the pop Bible. Out of the Woods is incredible. All you had to do was stay. I Know Places. I mean, not to mention the hits, obviously, like the big hits, Blank Space, Shake It Off. But I think it's just a solid album. I really, really like that one. Clean is one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs of all time. So 1989 is definitely a really, really great record. On the Taylor's version, I like the songs that everybody likes. There's two songs that like really, Suburban Lovers was good. And then there's one, Now That We Don't Talk, I like that one. Yeah, so 1989, like I said, I went back after Reputation came out. Loved Reputation. Lover is a good album. It's the first album that she owns, so I understand that it's very, very special to the fandom. Folklore, I think, is, honestly, really, really good. Like a masterclass. I know some people will get on her for like just saying words. I don't think Folklore was guilty of that. I think Evermore was also pretty good. I think Folklore was better, but I think Evermore was also pretty good. And I do listen to that one. There's songs that I would definitely go back to on both of those albums. Midnights for me. Oh, also, by the way, The Other Side of the Door from Fearless. Top 3 Taylor Swift songs ever. Love that song. Fearless is my favorite album, I think, of Taylor Swift, just before I get into Midnights and then ttpd. On Fearless, I love White Horse. I love The Other Side of the Door. Tell Me Why. Forever and Always. Like, even Don't, on the vault tracks on the Taylor's version, Don't You is a banger. Mr. Perfectly Fine is a banger. I just really, really love Fearless. And again, not to mention the big hits, Love Story. Fucking You Belong With Me is such a good song, dog. It's such a good song. I already said Love Story. 15. Fearless, the song. Oh my God. Such a good album. Such a good album. That one, literally, when I hear that album, makes me feel 8 years old. I'm like, I am a child. Makes me feel 6 years old, 7. Makes me feel like a kid. Anyway, so Midnights, this is when I started to like half the album with Taylor Swift. I like Midnights as an album. There's not a lot of songs that I'll go back and listen to all the time. You know, I'm a casual fan of Midnights. Now with the Tortured Poets Department, I'm not gonna give the criticism that it's too long. Because to say that would be a little reductive considering how much I've praised Cowboy Carter, an album that came out a little less than a month before Taylor Swift's ttpd. It was 27 tracks, an hour and 20 minutes, and I love every minute. And I listened to that album on repeat to this moment. Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department was 31 tracks, so 4 more tracks. Granted, it did have a runtime that was like 50 minutes long. It was like 2 hours in 10, 20 minutes, 2 hours plus. So it's longer in length. The songs were longer than some of Beyonce. She had some interludes and some shorter songs, of course. With Taylor Swift, she said she needed songwriting more than ever with this album, and I can feel that. And I'm sorry, you can hear that I'm losing my voice. I can tell that you could tell that she needed songwriting more than ever, and she was going through something. There's a couple of things I'm confused about though. One, why is so much of it feel like it's about Maddie Healy and not Joe? I thought it felt like it was gonna all be about Joe. So much of it feels like it's about Maddie, and that was confusing to me, just a little bit. I'm just saying, like, she acts like she doesn't give like any crazy revealing detail. Like even in Thank You Amy, where she's obviously talking about Kim Kardashian, she in the beginning she said, "I left out any revealing details." No, you didn't. The first thing you said was a spray tan, and I'm like, girl, that's the like. It's just funny because she really doesn't leave out revealing details like that. But then she'll be like, "Don't know who the song's about." Yes, we kind of do. It's just a little. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes. Anyway, so for this, again, I was confused. Why is so much of it about Maddie, or why does it seem like it? Also, why is it so long? Like, I feel like there's like 8 to 10 songs that feel like a little redundant, and I don't want to like shit on somebody's art. I like to be really, really positive on this podcast, but I can't talk about this album and just not call out the fact that I just don't like the entire thing. But I do like about 10, 12 songs, and I'm going to tell you what those are. So with that being said, these are the ones I love. My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Love. Down Bad. Love. So Long London. One of her best sad songs. Love it. But Daddy, I Love Him is reminiscent of her country era, and I love it. Florida with Florence from Florence and the Machine, I love. Guilty as Sin, I love that one. I like Who's Afraid a Little of Me, Little Old Me, I like that one. Love of My Life, I think that's another one of her best sad songs, so good. The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, I like that one, another sad one, it's really, really good. I really like The Black Dog. I really like Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. Crazy title, but the song itself, I do like it a lot. I like Thank You, Amy. And those are the ones I've settled on. A couple of things I do want to note. It's really long. I know it's been out for almost a month now, but honestly, like it came out on the 19th and my dog died a couple of days later. I've been a little preoccupied and I haven't really been able to listen to a lot of new music. I've just been kind of listening to stuff that I'm familiar with and watching things that I've already seen before just because I don't know. I can't really accept change very well. I just feel like a little stressed. And so I haven't listened to Tortured Poets Department like 111 times. But I have listened to it like a good 25. Like I have given it a fair shake. And I just don't get it entirely. I hope you understand. I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to shit on the lady's art. I don't want people to say, oh, da 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 da. You know how people are. But I have to be honest. Gonna be honest. Streaming by Koblizzy on all streaming services. I can't think of a time you were. I just don't love the album, guys. That's just the tea, and I'll move on. I'm not gonna be, say it over and over again. So, what am I gonna talk about? Like, I didn't write down much more. I've had so many podcast ideas, like episode ideas recently in like my off time since I've been not doing it. There's truly so much to discuss. I guess first I want to talk about challengers. That movie was everything I hoped it was gonna be. There was a little more I might have hoped, but it was really good. And I was really well done. The wigs were incredible, first and foremost. The costuming was incredible. The hair storytelling was great. The attention to detail, the direction was wonderful. The actors' performances were lovely. The tennis was convincing. It was thrilling enough. I liked the soundtrack. The soundtrack surprised me. You know, it was like a surprise that they picked this kind of music. I won't spoil it too much if you haven't seen it yet, but it was a very, 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 very good movie to me. I gave it a total 5 stars on Letterboxd. It gave me everything I needed for Zendaya's leading lady film debut. Um, and I loved it. Thank you, Luca Guadagnino, for a is that his name? Luca for Call Me Mr. Call Me by Your Name. Thank you so much for another classic movie that as soon as it comes out on iTunes, I will buy that mug and I will watch it over and over and over again. Just like I watch Call Me by Your Name. I watch Call Me by Your Name just to feel something. I will watch this movie. I love challengers. Like he does good like fucked up movies. He does good movies. He really does know how to pick stories and like it's just really great stuff. It's really great stuff. So I like challengers quite a lot. Last night when I got home from the airport, me and my mom watched The Princess Diaries 2. I don't remember watching that one, so that's why I wanted to watch it, and it was so good. It was so funny. Anne Hathaway, she's had a movie called The Idea of You come out recently that actually 2 people I know are in. Somebody I went to college with named Jordan Aaron Hall is like a featured part in the movie. And then somebody that I'm actually signed to the same agency with in Atlanta named Luke Pierre Rones. Everybody got 3 names nowadays. Luke Pierre is in the movie as well. In I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know exactly what they do. But Anne Hathaway is in this movie, and she's been promoting it a lot. And on the press tour, they've been asking her about a possibility of a third Princess Diaries, and she says it is a possibility. So that's why I wanted to watch the second one, and we did last night. It was super duper 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 good. I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. The only thing I would have liked is if they would have actually, maybe it was perfect. They kind of had everything. Maybe I need to go back and reconsider my storage. It kind of gave. Anyway, so yeah, The Idea of You, I definitely need to watch that one. I'll tell you all about it as soon as I do. It's crazy to know somebody that's like in such a big movie. But it's also crazy to me that this movie is based off a Harry Styles fan fiction. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Because the After series, my friends in college showed me those After movies that were also based on Harry Styles fan fiction. And honestly, I'm here for some I love reality TV. I watch reality TV on a daily basis. So I can't say I'm above trashy. And those After movies were a little trashy. But they really gave to me. So The Idea of You is like a high budget version of that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, that's the movie. I really just, just be stuttering. Those are the movies I've watched. What else have I been watching? Project Runway recently. Project Runway, believe it or not, something I really had never watched, sat down and watched before, and I just started watching All Stars randomly one day, and it kind of got into it. So I've been playing it like once in a while. I've watching like my second season of it, so that's pretty good. And I like reality TV. I really love season 16 of Drag Race. I don't think it's spoilers anymore. It's been so long, but Nymphia Wind won in the break while I was not making any episodes, and I was really excited about that. That's who I was rooting for. I love Saphira. I love Plain Jane, but I was rooting for Nymphia. Kind of all season long. I really love the girls who will hide their hand when they keep all their talents under their hat. Some girls want to go in there and they want to boast to like try to intimidate people. And some girls take the approach where they go in where they know how to do everything. They have all the skills and all the talents, but they keep it under their hat until it's time. I think those are the girls with the boom boom gun. Like Willow Pill kind of had like a similar vibe. Now Nymphia went on the construction of these clothes, bitch. That's why I love her so much. Like, she literally, I was thinking, since I just started watching Project Runway, she literally could get off a Drag Race as the winner and then go win a season of Project Runway, like, right now. She is such a good designer, and she is so beautiful. And then she's one of those girls like Sasha Velour. You don't see them lip sync all season. So then you get to the finale and they lip sync and they surprise you. I'm not saying that her reveals were on Sasha Velour's Rose Petal level. I think that Rose Petal reveal shifted history. I think it changed time. It was a world stop moment. A lot of people are comparing Nymphia's reveals to that. I'm not so sure. But I do think that the similarity of their trajectory of not lip syncing all season and getting to the finale and lip syncing is cunt, number one. And number two, it allows you to, show your best tricks in one showing and they've seen none of it before. That's your best bet. When you've had to lip sync a lot in the season, or they've seen you lip sync once or twice, you do your best stuff trying to save yourself. Once you get to this point, you have to find something else to do that's equally as entertaining and surprising. And sometimes people run out of tricks. There's only so much you can do. And they don't usually give you like a slow interpretive song for a final lip sync. They want it to be big and shiny and entertaining. So it's usually upbeat. So you usually got to find something big and shiny and upbeat to do. And Nymphia's boba reveals were really impactful to me. I don't care what you guys think. Just saying. And I really love that. So that's just something else that happened. I loved season 16 of Drag Race. And Plain Jane, honestly, is the standout for me. Like, Nymphia is incredible, but Plain Jane was the drama, baby. I'm so happy somebody's coming on TV and fighting. Like, that's what they used to have on Drag Race that we don't have anymore. Is they didn't think about how people were watching it. And really, a lot of people weren't. So they really were not going, they really were going for the jugular because they didn't give a fuck about those cameras, baby. They were like they were in the dressing room. And they say that all the time. Drag queens aren't nice. Drag queens will tell you that themselves. And I love the drag queens that I know in real life, and I love all the drag queens that I appreciate through the screen. I love drag queens. I love drag queens. I love drag. I'm obsessed with drag. I'm actually reading, or listening rather, to RuPaul's audiobook as well right now, except I checked it out on Libby, which is like a library service that's free if you have a library card. And it was like, I didn't finish it in time, so then I had to put it on hold again. So I'm only halfway through it, and I have to wait until somebody turns it in so I can check it out again, and then I'll listen to the last half, the rest of it. But anyway, so yeah, I love drag queens. And RuPaul, it's cool because I live in the Atlanta area, and she keeps talking about all the places that I know very well because this is where she spent like her teenage years before she went to New York City and conquered the world. She conquered Atlanta before she conquered New York and then the world, baby. So I just love me some RuPaul. Also, I got Sacred, Beyonce's hair products. I got the hydrating shampoo and the deep conditioner and the hair oil. And I also have been using this brand that I found at the store called Honey, who has a shampoo and a conditioner and a leave-in. And I've been using like a combination. I use Sacred shampoo and then the honey conditioner, and then the deep conditioner that's Sacred, and then I use the leave-in when I got out of the shower, the honey kind. And the combination, my curls are popping, my hair feels good. Once I get off of here, I'll put some hair oil on there and, maybe like tie it back loosely so we don't get any breakage. And just let my hair rest. I styled it for like days and days and days being in DC and like being with people. So sometimes, it needs a little breather, a little break, baby. So yeah, I have just been I visited my hometown. I went to St. Simon's. We stayed on the mainland, in Brunswick, but we were kind of in the whole Golden Isles. We're in Darien for my, one of my closest friend, George's grandfather. He's a legend. His name is Vic Waters. It was his 80th birthday. He's a musical legend in the Southeast and beyond. And they had a big outdoor concert at an amphitheater in the Golden Isles. And that's why we went down. It was the weekend right after Mugsy passed. And it was just nice to have something to do where you can go see a bunch of familiar faces who you love and they love you. So that was such a jubilant celebration. It was such a great time. I was so happy to be there. And then I ended up going home with Georgia and her brother, and we had like a little slumber party. It was such a good time. And Georgia also, lives up here most of the time in Atlanta. So I get to hang out with her. I hung out with her a couple of days ago, her and her girlfriend, and we went to see Challengers together. And then I had to go again by myself, and I might go again tomorrow. So yeah, I love them, and that was such a great time to go home and hang out with all of my home friends and just celebrate, Vic Waters and his birthday and his legacy, his life. So I've traveled like three places in the past 3 weeks, you know, and I'm going somewhere else like maybe next weekend, and all over the place, folks, and just trying to stay busy and live life, and not let like grief or sadness consume you. I realize now, like I struggle with my mental health sometimes, and sometimes when nothing's going on, I'll be sad, and it's like you're sad for no reason. But losing Mugsy, I'm just kind of like, bitch, you have to seize the day. You're 21 years old. You're still young. Like, do something, do everything, do anything, and get it done, baby. So I'm, making music, working on getting some releases out soon. I have some songs that are done, but it's just not the right time. Not just yet. So I'm gonna put them out soon, but I don't know not just yet. And then I've been writing tons, recording demos, trying to figure out what to do next, what direction I'm gonna take it, what envelope am I gonna push? Where are we going, Alice? To the moon, Alice, the good Alice. I looked over to my left, to the left, and I saw Dolly Parton over there on the wall smiling at me with her cute little face. I love me some Dolly Parton. Yeah, you guys, let me see if there's anything else on my list. I don't know how long I've been filming for. I feel like I might have covered it. Did I cover it? Am I the drama? Scarlet Envy, that was iconic. I think it was like All Star 6. That wasn't a great season. I'm gonna do a Drag Race rewatch, I think. It just like it I watched Drag Race a lot a couple of years ago, and I want to rewatch it. That's all. So I'm on season 2 right now, and I'm just gonna keep going. I've seen them all already, so I know what happens. But it's fun to like watch. You forget the details, you remember the big stuff and forget the details. So I'm gonna finish RuPaul's book. I want to read Britney Spears' book soon. I might listen to the audiobook of that one too. And then I want to finish Billy Porter's book. I have the copy right here, but I want to get the audiobook, I think. I've read like half of it. I think I want to listen to the rest of it. That one's longer. So yeah, I'm trying to like get back into books and reading and like not being a dumbass, and also like continuing to write and like nourish, like the artistic part of my soul. And not rot in sadness and despair, you guys. This has been a more candid episode of Koblizzy. I knew I had to tape today. It's Monday. It's the 13th, and tomorrow's the 14th. And I haven't posted in like 4 Tuesdays, and I didn't want to miss tomorrow, and I knew that I couldn't record it tomorrow because I wouldn't do it. So I had to sit down and do it now. And so you got what you got from like this is the energy. That's all I had. So it was pretty candid, but life is life, that's life. That's what all the people say. Riding high in April, shot down in May, literally. And I know I'm gonna change that tune when I'm back on top in June. I never thought about how those months align, like with the story. My birthday's in June, so hopefully I'll be back on top. That's life. It is. We live and we die. We all do. So enjoy your time. Cherish it. Stop bitching. That's to me. That's my own advice I should take myself. And remember, to live each moment to the fullest. You don't know how much time you have left, and you don't know how much time you have left with the company that you keep. So let them know that you love them. Thank goodness I did. Thank goodness I try to continue to do. And yeah, you guys, this was Koblizzy. Hopefully the tone's a little bit different next week. We come back feeling better vibes, but I didn't want to miss another Tuesday, and I hope that you can appreciate me, in this state, which is a little bit more relaxed, a little more casual. So yeah, if you watched on YouTube, give it a like, give it a comment, rate me if you're listening on Spotify or Apple or some other platform with a rating option, and give me 5 stars, baby, or 10 if that's how they do it over there. Yeah, at koblizzy, Instagram, TikTok, koblizzy.com for more information. Biz at koblizzy.com if you want to write me a message. And I'll see you next time. You can go watch any other episode of Koblizzy if you're going to miss me until next Tuesday. But I'll see you here, same time, same place. Until then, bye bye. Okay, good. I did it.